The Mutilator is about 6 friends going to a beach condo to close it up for the summer. They decide to stay for a little bit, and there's a killer lurking around this condo trying to pick off these characters one by one. Hey everybody, this is John Franklin Reviewer, and welcome back to another movie review. I decided to take a little break off the franchises and actually try to do some one-and-done movies for a little bit here. And I'm starting off with a movie called The Mutilator. Now, how I decided to check this one out was my good YouTube friend named Mikey from Mikey's Morgue reviewed this a while back, and I was like, you know what, I gotta check out this movie here. So I decided to check it out, and here I am reviewing it here. Now let's get right into the likes. So the first thing I actually want to say is that this movie starts off with a bang. The first maybe 3 minutes or something like that, I thought, oh, okay, this was really interesting the way that this kind of went down, so I did actually like that there. When we get to our 6 friends, I do like them. I think they're all really good with their acting. I'm engaged with most of them, if not all of them. I think they're very fun to be around. But the only one that really stands out that I really want to talk about, believe it or not, is actually not the main character. It's actually the jokester, and his name was Ralph. I really liked him because if you're someone who's been following me for a while, I'm usually up in the air about the jokes. Sometimes they could just be total dicks and I don't like them. Sometimes they'll actually be really funny and I'll actually just enjoy them because of their humor. And I'm like, you know what, I'm still liking this person too. But with this character, what makes him actually stand out than any other jokester that at least of the movies I have seen and have reviewed, is that not only is he really funny every time that he says something, he's actually very serious when he needs to be, and he's actually very sensitive. I think sometimes he hates himself being a sensitive guy, but he's actually a mixture of those, and I kind of like that there, where he's not just 100% just there to make you laugh. He actually has some other stuff about him that I really, really do like. When it comes to the violence and it comes to the gore, there's a decent amount of it. There are definitely some kills in here that really do stand out. I'm like, holy shit, on maybe 1 or 2 of them. I'm like, those were freaking awesome ones, and I really did like that there. As I mentioned with the jokester, with everybody else in this movie, when they would crack a joke, most of the time that they would actually land with me there too. So I did laugh a lot during this entire movie here. And then the final is going to be, there is a lot of intense moments in this, and you really do believe it. So I got to give credit, I guess, to the director and definitely some of the script writing there too. And moving on to the dislikes. Well, the first thing I like to talk about is there's a decent amount of filler in this movie. There's a decent amount of pussyfooting going on. Some examples, you got a couple who's going swimming. And I guess usually the cliche thing is when you do something like that, they go swimming, they're making out, and more likely the killer's going to take them out pretty quickly. With this one, it felt like that they were actually doing ballerina swimming. You know, they're diving into the pool. They're coming out of the water like Ariel from The Little Mermaid, and the young lady's her hair's kind of flying in the air. Then they just kind of go right back under the water, and they're under the water for it feels like a couple minutes, and they come back up. And it was just like, man, is something ever really going to happen in this scene here? And when something actually does, it just felt like it was just taking way too long. Then you actually have the other 4 friends, or the other 2 couples, however you want to look at it. They're just going up and down the beach. They're actually looking for their friends. Then all of a sudden that they're just bullshitting, which is fine and all that there. Something does actually happen in a very interesting way, and it just kind of goes back with them just sort of going back and forth, and, oh, we can't find our friend, so let's just go back into the house. The only thing that I would say I sort of liked was that, and I forget exactly what they called it in the movie, but it was pretty much a hide and seek. I actually had fun with that there. I would say that was probably one of the better fillers when you do something like that there. Okay, when it comes to the music, or the score, this, most of the time, even though there are some intense moments and the music does help out, there is some music in here that is just so horrible that I'm like, why was this picked for a horror movie? You actually have to see the movie to actually get it. Even if you just watch the beginning, maybe the first 5-10 minutes of the movie here, I'm just like, this music does not work for a horror movie, in my opinion. Then the final thing I want to talk about is actually about the killer. I got a couple things to talk about that. First off, I actually knew who the killer was right away, and if you watch this movie, you're going to know who it is right away, too. So it was almost like that they didn't want to keep this a mystery, which is fine. I think we kind of had an idea, especially the way that this movie starts off, how it could have been. And they could have twisted it a little bit and like, oh no, it wasn't him all along, it was actually this person. They could have went that way, and they didn't go that way either. But you knew who the killer was. And most of the time in a horror movie, I don't really care about the killer's motivation. But just because of the way that this film starts off, again, it's like I feel like that I just love the hell out of this beginning, that I wanted to know why was the killer doing what he was doing. Like, I feel like I had about like 5-6 different questions just after we all knew what was going on, and they don't ever give you a reveal on that, so I really hated that. The Mutilator, I am going to go 3 out of 4 stars. I do really like this movie here. What is your opinion about this movie? Do you like it? Do you not like it? Give me a comment down below, and we shall discuss it. See you guys in the next video. Bye.